As tensions with Japan are ever increasing and our area of control is increasing as well, I think the old light cruisers are maybe not quite up to the task anymore. And I think it's a good time to supplement them with a large gun light cruiser, because the what was it called? The Oakland class light cruisers are currently only running having 8 6-inch guns and a couple of torpedo tubes. So I feel we can try and build ourselves a modern light cruiser, because we have, I think at this point, triple 6-inch guns. Yes, there we go. So let's begin, and we shall call that the Brooklyn class of light cruiser. Okay, main tower, and we can make use of this relatively modern hull here as well. And we'll see what that's going to look like. Is a lot of towers, a lot of superstructure in the middle, but I think they all look pretty much the same. Yeah, they all look the same. So, oh, sorry, wrong button. Okay, we've got the, yeah, we've got the big red tower. Yes. Okay, so let's have a look what the Brooklyns are going to be looking like. Standard crew quarters. What's the design speed of this hull? 36 knots. So let's see if we can get away with 36 knots. That'll definitely be a fast ship. And we can increase the, and I think we will increase the displacement quite a bit here, at least until I get a larger, there we go. Let's go for 9,000 tons for now. I would like these to be gun cruisers, so I would like to see plenty of guns on these things, ideally 15, but I'm not sure we can actually manage that. Unless we can get a, well, let's see, dual barbette for medium guns. If we can fit one of these in the rear. And we have the rear superstructure extended a bit. Well, let's see what that looks like. So 6-inch triples, 1, 2, 3, 4. I would love to get another one in here, but the arcs are not the best. What if we pull this a little bit further back? Can we fit another? Yep, that works. There we go. Does it look pretty? I'm not sure, but it works. We've got 15 6-inch guns on this thing. Okay, funnels. Can we? That's a terrible engine efficiency. Can we fit? We can fit these in the rear and in the front. I don't think we can fit 2 of these. So we've got basically 2 positions for funnels. So we can put that funnel in there. Can't fit that in the rear superstructure, but we can fit this one in the rear superstructure. That gets us to 67% engine efficiency, and we switch that to oil. We're at 100%. Natural boilers, perfect. We have the balance boilers available. I don't think we need them, but it does reduce smoke interference, which is actually quite nice, but is a little more expensive than the, maybe, can we get away with 1? No, we can't, but we can, that is literally just funnel capacity. So what we can do is we can probably put 2 of the smaller funnels in there, although that does look a little silly. And then go with the balanced boiler. So maybe we put the bigger one of these forward. So there's one here, and then one of the small ones there. Oh, these are both the small ones already. Okay. So that's not terrible. So what would that look, actually, what would that look like with 1 single funnel? Not enough, no. So let's go with the 2 small funnels here. There we go. We've got a 15 gun light cruiser. We are going to need a bunch of secondaries as well. I'm thinking 4-inch. Actually, we can only fit 3-inch secondaries onto these. Okay, so we can put a bundle of 3-inchers on the superstructure and on the side. And we can fit another set here, nice. Can put a couple more. We're going to have to be careful with the displacement, but these things are going to be all gun cruisers, so no torpedoes on here. Okay, let's make that somewhat aligned. So we got 2 forward, and we can fit 1 aft here and another one aft there. Okay, this is an absolute menace. That's a lot of firepower, especially with these little 3-inchers. I mean, they're not going to be effective at anything except for 5,000 meters. And I generally don't want to fight things in 5,000 meters, so maybe I'm overdoing it a little here, but yeah, there we go. That is not terrible. Alternatively, I could stick a torpedo launcher onto it. It's a little excessive with I don't think the 3 inches are going to be that useful. I mean, the 6 inches obviously are going to have to operate at somewhere between 5,000 and 7,500 meters, because I really don't want to get anywhere close to bigger targets. But that said, I think these are going to be absolutely devastating against small ships. So yeah, we're going to use the Brooklyns as massive gun cruisers. We can stick the turboelectric engines in, but I think they're still relatively new tech, so 10% ship flaws is quite a lot. Let's stick with the proven technology for now. And that'll be shaft 2. I am almost thinking an unbalanced rudder, because that'll give her a better turning rate for close-in fights, and we're going to go for electric steering. Okay. Barbettes, double bottom hull, reinforced bulkheads, anti-flood, and Citadel giving us a fair amount of ship flaws here for the light cruiser, but we'll see how terrible it ends up being. Standard ratio of shells. I see I didn't forget. Now let's see what these turrets can do. 3.8 inch. I'm currently on semi-armor piercing. 3.8 inch at 5,000 meters. That's going to be enough against destroyers, but it's probably. It's what if we switch that to semi-ballistic? 5 inch at 5,000 meters. And incendiary HE shells, yes, definitely. I want all the fires. But semi-ballistic. Or do we want to go for capped? I mean, the HEs are incendiary. They're not going to do anything against destroyers. I'm going to stick with the semi-ballistic. So these things are pretty good against small targets. Tube powder and TNT. We could go for lightweight shells. That does improve our accuracy, but it does somewhat reduce penetration. So standard shells is good. And we definitely want another 7.5% ship flaws. Okay, we're going to go with enhanced reloading and electrical turrets. That'll have to do. Coincidence 5, definitely active sonar. And RDF, I can work with that. Give them some depth charges. Is that gives? We'll have to check. We'll have to double check the. We'll have to double check the ammo detonation chances that we have with this. I think flash fire, flooding, fire chance, we're good on that regard at least. And armor. So let's see, we don't have an awful lot of weight left, so I might strip out some of these excessive number of guns here. How much displacement? That gives us kind of 30 tons back. Let's do it like this maybe. I think that's sufficient. And everything has good angles. Yeah. And we can put a little bit more in armor. How much can we get into armor? We get 4 inches on the main belt. 3 inch forward, 3 inch aft. What's that looking like? 5-inch on the main. And definitely a bit more deck plating. 3-inch deck. Okay, 4.7. Let's do it 4.5. 4.5 main belt. 3 fore, 3 aft. 3 deck. 2 fore, 2 aft. 3-inch conning tower. 1-inch superstructure. And the 6-inch turrets get 8-inch forward, 4-inch top, and 4-inch, and okay, 3.3 on the barbette, so we can do anyway. All right, and we are very close. We can increase the displacement quite a little bit still. Could we put these to 9,500? Yep, that gives us a little bit more to work with in terms of armor. Let's see what we can put. So I definitely want the Citadel armor, if I can, so they don't explode that catastrophically. I am assuming them not to be the most effective ships that... these are really not meant to deal with battleships. They'll have to stay at maximum range and try to hit them. But we can potentially put a little bit more. 4.7 main belt. We have a forward weight offset, so let's boost the aft deck and the aft belt a little bit. Okay, that's about as much as we can do. Forward weight offset of 2.5. Can we just move these backwards? Is that going to make it a little better? Let's move them here. And move those over. No, not the superstructure. That stays, please. I meant this little turret. Can move that a little further backwards, just so it's a bit more symmetrical as well. Why am I having a port weight offset? Oh, that's why. Okay, so now we are still gonna miss one of them because I just wanted to move one backwards, I think. Okay, forward weight offset 2%. We can move this turret here, and we can move this forward one back here. There. How is that? And of course, the other side hasn't followed along, so that needs to be here, and that needs to go. And we have something is unbalanced. Why am I having a port weight offset? I think one of these turrets is further in than the other. There we go. Okay. Nope. Undo. That's not what I was trying to do. Okay. That has obviously removed my guns. Sometimes the game is a little quirky when it comes to the ship designer. Okay. So, now we have an aft... What? What happened? Why are we getting an aft weight offset now? Okay, some things just got... Oh, because I've lost one of the funnels. That's why. Okay, that's better. Now we're back. Back to where we wanted to be. So we've got a 225 million light cruiser with plenty of guns. 15 6-inchers. And I don't even know how many 3-inch guns. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... so 18, 36 3-inchers. Yep, these should be relatively brutal. At least so we hope. And that is our Brooklyn. Brooklyn class light cruiser. Save that design. And we'll get some of these underway in construction. Situation with Japan is deteriorating, but we still have to finish up the South America campaign. In the light of increased tensions with Japan, we have decided to send the newly commissioned heavy cruisers that we currently have on the East Coast, as well as the ships available on the West Coast including the Lexington-class battlecruiser and the Colorado, towards the Philippines. We just have to see how much we have available in terms of shipyard size. Not an awful lot, to be honest, unfortunately. We do have a little bit of a capacity in Guam, but it's not going to be enough to support a battleship. What else do we have in the Pacific? Okay, let's see. Zoom in a bit. I would like you to be actually not on sea control, but to be in the port. Yes, that's where you're supposed to be. How much do we? Yeah, that's not much that we can. Not much that we can do here either. And Hawaii has some strength, so or has some availability. So we've got about 30,000 tons left. So let's see if we can. We send the Lexington to Hawaii. That gets her. We can't send the heavy cruisers yet because they're still commissioning. We'll leave the Colorado at home for now. Oh, that means the heavy cruiser on the East Coast are probably also commissioning at this point. Where did I put them? No, these are actually ready. I'm not sure why the other ones aren't yet. I'm pretty sure I built them at the same time. Do we have enough capacity for a heavy cruiser? Yes, we can send them to Manila. We've got about 40,000 tons available there and about a bit less than 20 in Davao. So let's send... Where did I put them? I had them here. They are. Let's send the 3 heavy cruisers over to Manila. Oh no! Also, they're still commissioning. Okay, so they're still commissioning, which means probably the last thing I'm going to move is the submarines. Well, we don't have an awful lot, but we can. They're not taking a lot, so we can send those to Davao. I'll concentrate the submarine fleet in Davao for the time being, and maybe I'll send something over to Guam. How much capacity? Yeah, we've got 10,000 tons. So maybe Guam is a good submarine base. So I'll concentrate the submarines in Guam. In July 1924, the campaign in South America has been completed. It looks like we have rooted out all the Japanese influence. We've taken control over the governments along the Pacific coast, with the exception of Colombia, which is still resisting at this point. We have taken control of strategic oil reserves rather than letting these fall into the hand of Japan, and our government has decided to enact an economic embargo on the Empire of Japan to force them back into a more reasonable negotiating position. We're moving increased fleet segments to the Philippine Sea, and we will prepare to let the guns speak if diplomacy should fail us. In Central Europe, the Russian counter-revolution has toppled the communist government, and this pretty much removes the threat of communist influence in America. We were not wrong with persecuting the Reds, but it looks like even the Russians have done away with this blight and returned to a more normal state of being. That, however, has not necessarily removed the threat that the former Central Powers are posing, with German incursions still proceeding slowly into Czechoslovakia, and the threat of further escalation still very much present. While Germany is expanding south, Austria-Hungary is now expanding north into Galicia. Europe is still a hotbed, but our focus is firmly on Japan. A diplomatic note has been issued in protest from the Japanese foreign minister about the oil and steel embargo that we've enacted, but we have reminded the Japanese that they began this conflict by trying to increase tension in South America and foment an anti-United States alliance in the States, which we cannot tolerate, and that we see them as a threat to peace and stability in the Pacific region. On February 17, 1925, the Japanese ambassador in Washington has handed over a formal declaration of war. As a reaction, the American government has decided to focus all our forces on subduing the Empire of Japan and securing the threat in the Pacific once and for all. We have two task forces. We have the Northern Task Force in Manila, consisting of Arizona, Pennsylvania, the San Francisco, Tuscaloosa, as well as Cabot, Oakland, and Roanoke, and a bunch of destroyers and mine layers. We have the Southern Force in Davao with the Idaho and the New Mexico, as well as their destroyer escort. And we have some submarines currently stationed in Guam, which are immediately going to launch and start a picket line along the coast of Japan. We'll see if we can intercept Japanese troop movements or naval movements. Currently, I think most of their fleet is busy in the north, but after some years of peace, war has once more broken out. In anticipation of damage and losses, we have mobilized the Colorado and the Mississippi together with their escort, and they will be moving into the Northeast Asian Sea off the coast of Japan to intercept any kind of convoys or battle groups coming in, and they can replace one of the task forces that are currently stationed in the Philippines when it comes to repairs and refits. We'll move the Northern Task Force out of Manila, maybe not the whole of it. So let's see, we can probably get a group just stationed off the coast of Formosa and make sure that they intercept any kind of Japanese shipping coming in through the straits towards the north. So we'll send the two battleships and probably one heavy cruiser. These are refitted Oaklands. These are all refitted Oaklands. Two light cruisers. What destroyers do we have here? We've got a Wix. We've got the Farragut. And we've got another Wix. And that should actually be enough. Two light cruisers, two destroyers, heavy cruiser, two battleships. Yeah, let's move them out. And we've got the Southern Battle Group ready to deal with any kind of island forces, plus we're spreading out the submarines in anticipation of clashes with the Japanese Navy. In the first encounter of the war, the USS New Mexico and her escorts have spotted a Japanese cruiser group out in the open and are sailing in to engage. The big question is going to be if the New Mexico, being a slower standard type battleship, is going to be able to actually catch the nimble Japanese cruisers if they are deciding not to give battle. The destroyers are rushing north at the last spotted location to try and get a visual confirmation of the Japanese cruiser group. And New Mexico is steaming at full speed, which isn't an awful lot, but still is steaming at full speed towards the group as well. We will see if we can catch them. At least the destroyers should be able to catch up. We have confirmed visual contact with the Japanese cruiser group. At least two of them appear to be ready to give battle, and the destroyers are going to have to be somewhat careful. So we will... oh yeah, that's a very close hit. So we'll drop some torpedoes, smoke up, and then disengage for now. And yeah, it looks like they're definitely willing to give battle. The New Mexico is going to turn about, and we'll try to get, what is the gun range? What is the range on these? 16 kilometers. That is a bit far still. So we'll try to lure. We'll turn New Mexico about, and we'll try to lure the enemy ships into a closer engagement from the destroyers. Wix has taken a hit, but we have two enemy cruisers in sight, and the light cruiser is probably out there somewhere as well. So it looks like they've taken the bait and are going after the destroyer. Now the question will be: can New Mexico get into a position and get a firing solution? She's opening up for sure. So we'll see how well these shots are landing. That is a long distance gunnery that we've got here. And they've fallen a bit short, but that wasn't completely terrible. So destroyer group's job is to steer around and keep eyes on the enemy cruisers. We have loosened some torpedoes in their direction, just in the hope that they might be able to hit something. But the Wix has got a fair amount of torpedoes, so I'm not really concerned about being conservative with them. And I think so far the cruisers are mostly targeting the destroyers. Yes, they're targeting the destroyers. So we are running in smoke. We're going to send a second round of torpedoes. Yeah, well, may as well send all the torpedoes in. While the New Mexico is, I think, now in a position to open up with all her guns. Hopefully, we see the barrels. Yep, I think these are these even the secondaries already? Main guns. These are the secondaries opening up. And main guns should be reloading, and then raising. They have to lower them down to reload, and then raise them again to open up. Oh, something has detonated. That was one of the torpedoes, I believe. Let's have a quick look and see what happened there. Yeah, the cruisers are disengaged. The first one has been hit by a torpedo. So that was the first action. We are going to get the destroyers to keep an eye on them, but I think they are starting to disengage. So I am not certain that New Mexico can have a massive impact on the battle, but hopefully that torpedo hit might have slowed it down sufficiently that she may be able to get some hits in. New Mexico's actually got high explosive loaded, so not sure. These are not light cruisers, but we'll see if she can manage to get a hit in on these maneuvering ships. Just short. That wasn't bad at all. Destroyers are engaging, have launched torpedoes from both sides. We just have to be careful not to get too close with the destroyers. They're just there to shadow the enemy and to scatter them. There's another torpedo coming in, but I think that would have been a little optimistic to get another lucky hit there. But the light cruiser is probably over there in the smoke screen. And yeah, New Mexico is closing in and is targeting the damaged cruiser at this point. We'll see if she can manage to get a hit in. How bad's the damage? Can we see anything? Seems to be wanting to disengage. Where's the other cruiser? The other cruiser is getting a little... I'm going to shift fire from the New Mexico to the other cruiser, because that one is getting aggressive. And we do want to be careful that they don't get too close to our destroyers. Don't want to have any losses if I can avoid it. I definitely want to bring New Mexico closer in on the action. But we do need to turn a bit to get her guns on target. And the secondaries are opening up, but the main guns are going to have to respot the target now, obviously. So this cruiser is coming in relatively aggressively. It's now at under 10 kilometers. There's the light cruiser somewhere up north in the smoke screen. Destroyers, yeah, just keep them spotted for now. Keep your distance. The New Mexico is what I want to rely on to make things happen here. New Mexico is scoring hits on the Yumiori. And these are partial penetrations. I'm going to get New Mexico to start firing armor piercing. And Yomiuri is already sinking. Never mind, that's the first cruiser down. In that case, destroyers can start targeting the other heavy cruiser, and New Mexico can shift fire on the damaged cruiser. I'm going to get her to fire armor piercing, which we'll have to get in range. The 5-inch secondaries are already working her over, because we've only scored partial penetrations, which has set a fair amount of fires, but I'm more curious to get the armor piercing on target. So ranging shots out from the New Mexico. What's our angle here? I think we can probably penetrate that. I mean, New Mexico's got 14-inch guns. They should be able to deal with heavy cruisers. Enemy torpedoes sighted. Where are my destroyers? Okay, destroyers are too aggressive at this point. Target the light cruiser, but just make sure you shadow it. See if you can maybe get some torpedoes away. Enemy torpedoes passing by harmlessly. I don't think the New Mexico is in danger. There are torpedoes coming in. Okay, I did not get a warning about these, so hard turn to starboard from the New Mexico. We'll see if we can avoid these torpedoes, which is going to cost us our solution, but that's okay. Okay, we've got them. She might have sent out some more torpedoes, so we've managed to avoid them so far. And we'll try to see if we can get some good main gun hits in on that cruiser. I think New Mexico can finish him off. So I'm just okay. We need to evade here with the wicks. We don't want to take hits. Yeah, New Mexico is hammering that heavy cruiser. And I think there were more torpedoes in the water just somewhere here. Don't really see anything now, but let's be careful. The Wix is almost reloaded, and we can go after the light cruiser there. New Mexico is closing into. Well, we are now at what range are we at? 6 kilometers. So yeah, I think New Mexico is going to finish that off. Okay, there are a lot more torpedoes now incoming. We'll see New Mexico might take some hits here, but we'll put the engines in reverse and see if we can pull a hard turn. New Mexico is launching her own torpedoes. She's one of the older standard types who is capable of doing this. And we will see if we can manage to slow down sufficiently. Yes, we have. Okay, torpedoes avoided, or torpedoes evaded rather. And New Mexico can get her course set again. Okay, destroyers, smoke, and chase down the. Okay, that cruiser is getting very close. No, keep targeting the light cruiser, but you do need to. Okay, the Japanese cruiser is definitely going after the destroyers. Has tried to send some torpedoes out at the New Mexico. But New Mexico is managing to score hits with the secondaries, and I think he just took a relatively massive hit. Yeah, that heavy cruiser is going down. There's nothing left of this one. So you don't mess with the New Mexico, which means now it's up to catching the light cruiser. So destroyers can close in, and that's the last remaining ship on the group. She is trying to sail away, but I think this is one of the older armored cruiser designs. I don't think she is going to get away. And New Mexico has got her square in her sights, so we'll give chase. But what's the distance to that light cruiser? That is 10-kilometer distance. Not the best range for New Mexico, but we'll see. We'll see if she can manage to land a hit. The destroyers are definitely going to go after it. and they will have the torpedoes ready in a minute, so I'm pretty sure they can catch up. She's been maneuvering quite heavily, so New Mexico just needs a couple good hits. Is this more torpedoes incoming? No, that's just... well done, New Mexico. No scratch on the paintwork. Okay, the destroyers are giving chase, but we're not in a position for a torpedo launch. That said, I think we do have to be a bit careful not to lose our destroyers here. Disable the torpedoes for now, and we'll just rely on the guns for the start. I'm not sure what the light cruiser is shooting at. We might... What's our... Yeah, we're starting to get some bracketing shots in now to reestablish the fire solution. And yes, she spotted the destroyers. So let's go in for a torpedo run and see if the Wicks can grab some of that glory as well. At the very least, we'll get some gun hits in. And yep, there come the enemy torpedoes. It's not unexpected. Light cruisers tend to have torpedoes, especially Japanese ones. But we'll get in a bit closer for a torpedo run, and then we'll try to disengage across the bow. Where is she turning? I think she's turning to port actually. In that case, we can probably launch and launch from this side before our smoke screen dissipates. We've got a minute 30 on it left. So let's get the torpedoes away and hard turn. She might be able to evade that, but I'm gonna get New Mexico to turn as well now, because I do want to get a little closer while we are unloading the guns at the ship. So slight turn. Do we have the torpedoes away? Yes, we have the torpedoes away, and I'm not sure if she's going to be able to dodge that. New Mexico is over penetrating with the 14-inch, so let's put it back on automatic. She might be just having too much firepower actually, but I think she's relatively heavily damaged, so we might be able to get a torpedo hit in here from the destroyers. We will see. This torpedo looks promising, and yep, that's a torpedo hit on the bow, just about. Have we sent some more torpedoes out? Let's make sure we get the other side, the torpedoes on the other side away as well. I may as well discharge. Ah, no, she's already done. Save your torpedoes, save your ammunition. That ship is done. I think she is sinking. She's desperately launching torpedoes in a desperate last-ditch attempt at the destroyers, but I think that light cruiser is going down. And that would be a major victory in our first engagement. Once she actually does go down. She's smoking up, trying to get out of there. But if New Mexico can land a couple more hits like these, then I think that's going to be it. Yeah, New Mexico's got a good solution on her. And that range should be enough, even for even the secondaries have a chance. But once the 14 inches are reloaded, I think that salvo is going to finish her off. There we have it. I think she's sinking. New Mexico has taken her out. Well done. And that was our first battle against the Empire of Japan. And the first time in my career that the US Navy had to actually engage. So we've sunk the Yomiuri, the Tsubakuro, and the Yura. And except for the Yura, which has probably scored a couple of minor hits on one of the destroyers, the New Mexico has definitely been the one dealing the damage here and has absolutely ripped these cruisers to shreds. Even after this victory, the Japanese fleet has 6 battleships, 3 battle cruisers, 10 heavy cruisers, 30 light cruisers, 34 destroyers and 17 submarines, for a total active fleet of 100 ships, compared to 70 ships on our side. But so far, at least in this first engagement, we have come out victorious. We will see how the next encounters are going to go, but we're definitely fighting this to the end, to once and for all put the Japanese Empire down and make sure they no longer pose a threat to anybody, especially not us when it comes to controlling the Pacific. And that's it for me today. Thanks everybody, and I will see you next time when we finally have some action.